Hi, I here in my garage, and I've come to the conclusion that I need to do something, and it's literally my biggest fear. So this is very difficult for me. I'm in a very healthy place, I think, mentally, spiritually, to do this, and I'll get into why now I feel this is a good time to share. It's been, what I'm going to say has been the source of all of my guilt, shame, just a terrible inner dialogue with myself. I don't really know if I should just say it or talk about how I got to the point where I'm able to share. I guess I'll just say it. I have been addicted to pornography almost my entire life. I'm 31, and I've probably been addicted to it since I was 6, 7, 8 years old. This isn't due to any sort of abuse. I was never abused in any way by anyone. I was just a boy, you know. Someone in the neighborhood had found a dirty magazine, and they ripped it up in a field behind my house, and all the pictures got spread all over the place. And 7-year-old boy seeing all that, I didn't know what it was, but all the older boys thought it was pretty exciting, and so I got into it, and I decided it was pretty exciting for me too, so that's how it started. Anyway, fast forward through my life, I'm still addicted. The internet becomes a thing, and then the addiction really starts when I'm in my teen years and I'm have the internet and all that stuff. Family's very religious. I've always been very religious. I sought help from my religious leaders, and usually in one way or another they told me to stop. I mean, I never was given any weapons, anything to fight it. They just told me to stop. I think they all cared, but I had a couple that really, tried to give me blessings and help me out. But, church leaders are really busy, so I don't really blame them. I don't even blame the church per se, but I just feel like maybe we don't know how to fight this. I mean, that seems apparent to me, but that seems terrible, especially because I'm from Utah, and it's a huge problem here. We have like the highest porn rate in the country, Utah, the conservative Mormon state. We're the state with the problem with pornography. It seems insane, right? But I can tell you why it was a thing for me. It was never talked about. When I asked questions about sex or pornography, they didn't want to. No one wanted to talk about it. I was told it was bad. I was told that sexual sins were second to murder. So what that ended up doing to me was just not making me feel guilty, but making me feel ashamed. Which I look back on it now, and it was so damaging. Just the shame just really just made me, I don't know how many, I mean, some of you watching this are my friends and loved ones and family, but I don't know if it was apparent. I think I hid it pretty well, but I've really hated myself for a long time. I feel like most of the things I was taught was all shame-based. Don't do this, or else you'll feel bad. Or do this for me, because then you'll make me feel good. That kind of thing. And that just really, and I'm a very guilt sensitive person, and it really just killed me. And I never wanted to share this secret with anyone, let alone, the world. Terry Crews, he gave me some strength. He came out as an addict as well. I thought, well, maybe I can do that, and I still couldn't. I was too afraid. But I guess I'll get into why I'm at a place now where I feel like I can share this. It has to do with an ancient medicine found on the other side of the world. That sounds crazy, but that's 100% true. Several months ago, I found a documentary about an ancient drug, they call it medicine, called ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a medicine that is created by combining the bark of a vine, only found in the Amazon, and a certain leaf from a plant, only found in the Amazon. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Incas discovered its effects. And the interesting thing is the vine, or ayahuasca, the active ingredient is DMT, which is a psychedelic drug. Our bodies do not react to DMT if you ingest it. The way past that is the Incas found out that if you boiled the bark of the vine with a certain leaf for 3 days until it becomes an ugly brownish yellowish sludge and you drink it, it has psychedelic qualities. I did my research, I saw some documentaries, and this is being used today as medicine. It is not an illegal drug in South America. And when it really piqued my interest was when I heard that people with addictions, alcoholics, full-on alcoholics, will go to Peru, they'll take ayahuasca, and after a few sessions, they're cured of their alcoholism. That just kind of floored me. And then I started really researching it. As I just read the healing qualities for people, just mentally, emotionally, people who've been abused, just coming to peace with it, I thought, I think this is for me. And I didn't really share that with anyone because that sounds crazy. Go trip acid in the jungle, across the world. It doesn't make any sense. But I mentioned ayahuasca to a buddy of mine. I never mentioned my addiction. I just said, this sounds like something kind of cool, and what if you had the opportunity to go to Peru and do this? And he said, yeah, let's do it. And I said, no, I just mean like hypothetically, like if you had the opportunity, would you go? He's like, yeah, let's go, let's plan something, let's do it. And it suddenly became real, and I made a deal with my wife. She didn't want to go. I made a deal that whatever money I spent, she could spend on herself. So she reluctantly obliged. And me and my buddy Mike went to Peru, went to the jungle, and we participated in 3 ayahuasca ceremonies. I'm completely with it. I just want everyone to know I'm completely with it. I know what's going on. I know how this sounds to you, especially those of you from Utah, my Mormon friends. This sounds insane. This sounds bad. It sounds evil to go do drugs. And I really don't even like calling it a drug anymore. I call it medicine. I really do. And for those of you who think this is bad, just automatically think it's bad because you've been taught that things like this are bad, I'll just tell you, you can take my word for it or you can just not believe me. That's fine. I don't care. But you're wrong. I'm the happiest I've been maybe ever. Maybe not with all of this, but with this, within me, I'm maybe the happiest I've ever been. That's huge, huge. It wasn't just an acid trip. You take this medicine, you take the ayahuasca, it tastes like death, by the way, worth it. If you have an intention, not an expectation, but if you come in with an intention, with what you want healing from, at least for me, I can't speak for everyone, but at least for me, I was taken on a journey where symbolically and sometimes just straight out in my face, they said, here's your real issue. Here's what you really need to deal with. What I got out of it was, I care so much about what people think of me, and I shouldn't. I've been so unhappy because I've been living my life for other people. I haven't actually looked at myself and explored myself and said, what makes me happy? I mean, there's so much. I'll release other videos and I'll tell you specifically what I saw in my visions. I just want to share this with people. This video is probably going long already, but I'll tell you that at one point in my vision, one of my visions, I had several, my mind opened up and I started searching for that part of me that cares so much about what people think of me. And I literally just dug through my brain. My brain's amazing, by the way, found that out. And I found it. And it was this black smoke. And it condensed into this little black blob. And I remember looking at it, and I said, what am I supposed to do with this? I found it, and I said, I wonder if I delete it. Poof, and it was gone. And I freaked out, and I said, no. So I started searching again. I said, where'd it go? It must have just moved. I couldn't find it. And then eventually I was just kind of given the assurance and said, why are you looking? You felt it leave. Of course, 100% of your caring what people think didn't just leave like that. It's more work than that. But you felt something leave, right? And I had to tell myself, I really did. Now, I'm not foolish enough to believe that it's all gone and that when I get home, I just won't care at all what people think. No, I don't believe that, not for a second. But part of it's gone. And I can tell you, my wife can attest to that. All this to say that it really helped me. And here in Utah, pornography addiction is huge. Sometimes I'll go to a church and I'll look around and I'll think, I wonder how many of these guys are either addicted or have a consistent habit. And it's got to be like half, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe 40, even if it's 25%, that's huge. But yet none of these guys will admit it. And I know why, because I was there. I wouldn't admit it. The only person I ever told was my wife. I was always completely honest with her. And so I just think all these men out there, even some girls and women, have this problem, but they're too afraid to come out. Church doesn't have tools to fight this. They really don't. I once asked for therapy. I went to a bishop and I asked him for therapy. I said, I need therapy, I need a group, I need some sort of whatever. And he said, I guess you could try that. I mean, it doesn't usually work, but I mean, yeah. And I said, oh, all right, well, where do they meet? He said, I'm not really sure. I'll give you a brochure. And he gave me a brochure and I left. All right, well, I had no confidence in that. By the way, I've told every bishop that I've pretty much ever had about my addiction and received no help. Maybe I already mentioned that. I don't know. It came to a point where I said, you know what, I've been trying it this way for so long, I gotta try a different way. And that's what led me to the jungle. Again, you don't have to buy what I'm saying. All I can tell you is what I experienced. And it was all positive. My friend who went with me, he experienced a completely different experience, but we both left saying what we just experienced was amazing and all positive. I had some scary points with it as well, terrifying moments, but that was part of it. I don't know if this was supposed to help other people or if it was just supposed to help me. If you need help with this, I suppose, feel free to reach out to me. I can talk to you. I don't know that I'm I'm a great resource. But please, if you need help, I'm happy to help in the ways that I can. But all I can say is that in my experience with ayahuasca, that might be a solution for some of us. Maybe not for everybody. Well, definitely not for everybody. But maybe for some people. For me, confessing is big. I think this is helpful. It doesn't feel as good as I thought it would, but I know it's helpful, but maybe it's because I don't care what people think anymore. Sorry. Battery died. Had to charge it. I want to go on what I was really fearing. I've always feared what other people think, obviously. Part of that was I was afraid if I admitted that I would be seen as a predator. I think it would be different. If I were a woman and I was admitting this same addiction, I think I'd actually be kind of praised for being brave and for coming out and all this stuff. But I think as a man, it's difficult to, or it's more difficult. I'm not saying it's easy for a woman if she's got this addiction, but I think it is more difficult for a man because I'm afraid that when I walk in a room, mothers will keep their kids from coming to play with me. That if I say a dirty joke, which I happen to like dirty jokes, they're going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't feed your addiction. Or if I see a rated R movie, they're going to be like, oh, it's too bad. He's an addict. And it's like, obviously I have to be careful. Obviously I have to watch myself and what I do and where I am and, all that stuff that addicts have to do. But I want to live my life. And more than anything, what I learned from this ayahuasca experience is that I want to be me. I want to do what makes me happy, so long as I don't take anyone down while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I still want to be me. I'm a good person. I think I'm a better person today after all this. And again, like I said, I'm not cured. It's only been 2 weeks since I've been back from Peru. I'm not that foolish to think I'm completely cured, but I can tell I'm doing better. And hopefully with confessing to you guys, I'll keep myself in check more. And again, I know there's lots of work in the future, but I think I received some real help. And if you have this addiction, I hope you find help. And maybe going to the jungle isn't your answer. Maybe coming out as an addict isn't your answer. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just some guy who had this problem and found something that helped. Finally, after living with this for over 20 years, I finally found something that helped. I haven't had help before. I've never received any sort of help, any real sort of help. So I hope that you can still accept me, still love me for being me and for knowing this bit of history about me. I feel really good. Maybe better than I've felt in a long time, maybe better than I've ever felt. Be honest with yourself and stop giving everything so much power. If you say something is so much one thing, it just makes it that much more powerful. Just relax and be happy. Thanks for listening. Again, if you think this is weird, I just hope you won't be so judgmental, that you'll see that I really am happy and this really was helpful. I just hope you accept me. But if not, I'm going to try to not let it bug me so much. I don't really know how to end this, but I'll just say thanks for the opportunity. And here's to getting better and staying that way. Thanks.